Very much, Rachel. My name is Tom Kinghorn, and I am very pleased to be here with all of you to help celebrate this significant milestone for East Central Indiana. It's been a genuine pleasure to have had the chance to work with many of you as we have worked together to achieve this designation and begin the process that is ahead. The planning process in East Central Indiana that has brought us to this point involved more than 70 individuals and 50 local organizations. And the list is extensive, but let me share some of it. It would include all the county economic development organizations, a number of school corporations, several community foundations, several post-secondary institutions, healthcare systems, the East Central Indiana Regional Partnership, United Ways, chambers of commerce, leaders of several cities, and a variety of employers from multiple industry sectors. So a lot of involvement throughout the region. And while 18 months seems like a long time, building such relationships in the COVID environment offered its own challenges, as all of you know very well who are on this call. So thank you all for your individual contributions and the knowledge you brought, and most importantly, shared in this process. So next, I want to thank and recognize Blair Milo, who serves as Secretary of the Indiana Office of Career Connections and Talent. It was her vision and that of her team that put this regional concept together. I believe her collaboration with CivicLab in the Indiana Talent Network under the leadership of John Burnett and Gina Burdell will make a positive difference for the state of Indiana. I believe out in the future, when we look back, we will see these strong regions and a healthier Indiana because of it. As most of you know, the 21st Century Talent Region structure is designed to serve citizens across the full age spectrum from early childhood to adulthood, including families and businesses that they now serve or eventually will serve in the future. So with that, let me turn the meeting over to Blair and have her describe her vision and what she sees in the future for the talent region effort. Blair?
Well, thank you so much, Tom, and thank you all for joining us here this morning for an event and a day that I have been looking forward to for a while. That it is such a treat to be with you all here this morning and to celebrate all of the work that you have put into reaching this designation point here, which is a really important milestone to celebrate because of all of the collaboration and the relationships, as Tom talked about already. You know, it was fascinating to listen even just today before we were getting started to hear the conversations between Jim and Tom and others about continuing to collaborate on different kinds of things, new ideas that are coming forward. So it has just been such a pleasure to walk alongside your region over the past 18 months and even I think before for that of just getting to know all of the incredible things that are happening across East Central, of the tremendous work that you are doing around attracting, developing, and connecting talent. And as Tom mentioned, we had the opportunity to start this idea of 21st century talent regions, I think around maybe 2 years or so ago, with the idea being that we know that there is tremendous things happening in the areas of attracting talent to the state of Indiana, of developing talent to be able to connect up to some of the different training and education opportunities that lead to growing career paths, and connecting talent in a lot of various different ways, whether it's through unique transportation systems or supportive wraparound services for childcare, early learning types of support, health supports. And so what I saw even before getting the opportunity to serve in this role was that in my own community, we had so many things happening, but I got to a point that I was sort of like, I can't keep track of who's all doing what where, and how does this all come together so that we're collectively reaching goals that we couldn't do just on our own. And how do we organize all of those pieces? And so that was really what drove the idea around 21st Century Talent Regions that Tom mentioned the team with CivicLab that we had the opportunity to connect up with, of then seeing the process of, okay, if we can map out all these different partners that we have that are doing amazing work to understand how people fit into these different spaces and how they fit into kind of shared spaces as well, then we can have a better understanding about who's doing what where and how does this all come together to serve goals that we're all collectively working towards, and how might we reimagine any of those goals in a way that might stretch us because of the opportunities that we have now by being stronger together. And so that was the driving force with 21st Century Talent Regions. And over the past 18 months, and I would imagine I'm not alone in this, and that my sense of time over the past year is very skewed. So it's hard to think through of different time periods, but I can still remember very vividly the opportunity that we all had as we were beginning this journey together. And I think it stands out in my mind because we had such a fascinating adventure through various jobs that people had that had been the worst job that they'd ever experienced, but things that they learned from those jobs. And boy, did we learn a lot about each other in that first meeting. So it's such a great discussion. And I think it hopefully helped for all of us to get to know one another better as we've been on this journey together to then think more about how do we collaborate to the best of our ability to accomplish some collective and stretch goals around how we're growing the population, how we're increasing the education attainment levels, particularly post-secondary credentials for individuals across the region, as well as increasing economic mobility, whether that's looking at median household income or per capita personal income. And so through that journey, I think many of you have been a part of this process, but many have not yet had the chance to join, but I would love to be able to share with you where we're at today as a part of reaching this milestone with the designation. And so as a part of that process, we kind of worked through, first of all, mapping out who all is doing what in the attraction, development, and connection spaces. And so I'm going to ask that the team member bring up the stakeholder engagement chart, or the talent ecosystem. And I think at this, I want to make sure to call out too that what has been really fascinating to watch about how the East Central region has built some of these different charts is that not only do you have this for the entire region, but through your diligence, having these kinds of resources for each of the counties that are a part of this work too has been really amazing to see that work for each member county and how it all collectively feeds the region and how they all come together. And so what you see here in front of you is I like to refer to it as the honeycomb chart, and you can probably see why, but you have the ecosystem across East Central Indiana of the different partners who are doing amazing work in development, attraction, and connection areas, and then seeing those system builders within the center who are helping to be able to bring all the different partners together. And so that's where you see the ECI Talent Partnership, Eastern Indiana Works, all those kinds of individuals, and recognizing then you've got the talent, the individuals, the Hoosiers within East Central Indiana, as well as our employers who are then being able to connect those talented individuals with some different opportunities to earn success and to apply their talents into the economy of Indiana. And so with that, then we've also looked at, well, this is who we all have, and these are some of the different kinds of initiatives that are being pursued across the ecosystem, and that drives the talent dashboard, which the next tool that I want to bring forward. And what you see on the dashboard here is an organization of the entire system here when we think about attraction, development, and connection. That none of these three things can really happen independent of one another. And so it truly is a system thing that we have to be mindful of how we're bringing people to the region, how they're connecting up to opportunities, and how they're developing those skills to be able to connect into some of those opportunities. And that's what we see from a data perspective, kind of starting on the left-hand side of that dashboard that goes through, here's where our population is right now, and some of the goals that we have around where we want to collectively get to. The yellow section are different data points that inform some of our understanding of where our population, where our attraction, connection, and development opportunities are right now, so that we just have a baseline understanding of this is where we're at. And then I'm going to skip the middle section for just a second to draw your attention to the lower right-hand corner. And that's where you see from an economic and industry perspective, these are sort of the key clusters within our region, career growth areas, industry areas where we see growing opportunity, and being able to include some projections around kind of where we see we need to get to as best as we can know. But we also know that there are new jobs, new technologies emerging on a daily basis. The future of work is now. So there are some certain limitations that are always going to be there on what kinds of projections we can make. But at least we have as much insight as we can utilize from some of the different economists, labor economists around, well, here's where we see projections for jobs moving forward, careers moving forward. So let's look at how do we take what we know, where we are right now on that left-hand side, with the right-hand side of where we need to get to. How are we going to get there, and how are we measuring success of ourselves all along the way? And that's where you see the tremendous work in these three sections of attraction, development, and connection, of the different initiatives that everybody has spoken into, of things that are already underway. And I would specifically draw folks' attention, and you're probably fairly familiar with this, so I'm in some ways preaching to the choir here, but the Forge Your Path effort that has been launched already is just fantastic to see the opportunity that's coming forward, the intentionality that is already in place there, of all of the connections across the people across the region who are speaking into that work, and how you're being, like I say, intentional about communicating those different opportunities through Forge Your Path there. In many ways, you are leading many of our other regions on thinking about some of these different aspects. And so it's such a treat for us to have an opportunity to see the focus that you have, and to work with all of you on different priorities and how you see all these different areas coming together, measuring those through goals and metrics that you see as most effective for leading to the opportunities that we have around growing the population, increasing post-secondary education attainment levels, and then connecting people through increasing economic mobility with median household income. So I was just looking at the chart here because I have to go back and forth, that some people measure median household income, some look at per capita personal income. And so I couldn't be prouder of all of the work that you are all doing, and so thankful for the opportunity to be with you all on this journey. And like I said, to celebrate today with the opportunities that we have ahead of us. It's important to note that today, like I say, is a celebration, but this is not the finish line. And in many ways, we have, I wouldn't say our work is just beginning, because there is a tremendous amount of work that has gone into getting us to today, but we have many other milestones to be able to achieve as we continue working towards these goals. And as we share with some of the different tools that we have as a part of the dashboard, looking at, if you're using it as a stoplight chart with red, yellow, green, it can be important to have some red components in there so that it gives us goals to keep pushing further, keep working harder to ensure that we're connecting Hoosiers up to opportunity in a wide variety of capacities, and connecting our employers and our businesses with the talent pools that they need to be able to take advantage of the growth opportunities that they have moving forward. And so while we celebrate all of this today, you're going to hear more in just a little bit when we go through the proclamation around where we're going from here. So this is not an oh, we've gone through this process in order to identify priorities and built this really valuable dashboard and built these relationships. Those are key pieces, but this is not, our work is far from done. And so we have great opportunities ahead of us, and you'll get to hear more about what some of those goals are in just a little bit when we go through the proclamation. Finally, before I turn some of this over to my partner at the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you who have been so engaged in this process throughout, but particularly to Tom Kinghorn, to Delana Boyd, Kelsey, and to Courtney. You have been such amazing champions, and I'm sure that I missed individuals in there, so I'm sorry, because there have been such amazing folks who have been really critical for doing work behind the scenes to keep all of the pieces moving, because as you saw on a chart like that, there's a lot of different pieces that have to come together, a lot of folks who are engaged in this process. So just wanted to call out the opportunity that I've had and the appreciation I've had to work with all of you throughout this process. And so, as I mentioned, this has certainly been a collaborative effort on so many different levels. And Elaine Beadle, who now serves as the Secretary and President of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, has been an amazing partner since the beginning of the idea of 21st Century Talent Regions, that back in the days where she was serving with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, who continues to be a partner with us as well, that then she has been a fantastic champion and collaborator throughout from a team perspective, who have been driving this within the state team. And so hopefully you're hearing the theme about collaboration on all levels. And it's such a pleasure for me to introduce my partner and colleague, President and Secretary Elaine Beadle, to share a little bit about some of the perspective from the Indiana Destination Development Corporation. So I'll turn it over to you, Elaine.
Thank you, Blair. I appreciate those nice comments. And obviously it's been an honor to work with you in this. And I think Tom Kinghorn said it best earlier when he indicated that this somewhat quiet effort that's been going on around the state of helping regions come together and plan, which was the what do I call it? Idea, I guess, a simple word, idea of Blair Milo. And I think it's really taken off. And I do believe, as Tom said, this is going to be something that we'll look back on and we'll say, wow, this is really what's helping Indiana move forward. And so I just wanted to kind of share that thought as well. But let me say congratulations to all of you. You know, I understand that this is quite the effort and you've put a lot of time in. And I do know that what you've accomplished is not easy. You put in time, effort, you had to listen a lot, you had to be patient, you had to compromise, but ultimately you come out with a vision for your region and a plan of action that'll make your region a better place to, as the governor likes to say, live, work, play, study, and stay. And I think bringing this diverse conversation of ideas together really creates a better outcome. But again, it's not easy. You all start there looking at each other thinking, what are we doing here? And who wants to do what? And who's got a secret agenda? You have to get all of that wiped away. And you really have something that is so worth it, so worth all the time to move forward. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation is fairly new. Our effective date was July 1st, and our mission is to brand, promote, and tell Indiana's authentic story to attract and retain talent, students, business, as well as visitors. So if we as a state and you as a region can get the message right, all those boats will rise. And we'll attract more talent to fill the jobs. We'll retain more of our graduates and we'll convert our visitors to residents. And that's what's going to help the state in the future to grow and maintain a high level of respectability from all over the country. I need to mention the Forge Your Path, the website that Mindy Kenworthy and her creative team put together. It's exactly what I encourage every region of the state to do. In fact, I use it as that model when I talk to others around the state, because it really does showcase your region and the quality of life that you have there. It's what people need to see, what they need to understand. before they make that decision to come and work for a business here or to go to school here or to live here. And so I just think that Forge Your Path is the best website I've seen out there, and I really love it. In fact, what we at the state level want to do is to create an umbrella website that will then connect to your region's website and help amplify that story so that people can find the state's website and then find all the regional areas within that website so that we can then showcase your section of the state as well. So it's a wonderful tool that the website is, and it will help you accomplish, I think, your region's goals to increase population and the education attainment and the household income as well. The greatest benefit of regional planning is that it puts you in control of your destiny. I've always been a big fan of regionalism, and of course we saw what regional cities was able to do. And many of you may have heard the governor focus part of his State of the State address on creating the next level regional recovery program, really to help increase the quality of life in all the regions. And doesn't have any funding yet to put behind it, but he's hoping to get some support from the legislature to figure out where we can get some funding to help do something like Regional Cities 2.0, but maybe with a little bit different twist. So your planning that you're doing now will make you ready and able to respond quickly if they look for applications for how you might use some additional funding in your area. So continue the good work, knowing that there may be a true reward out there. So again, congratulations and best wishes to all of you. And again, I thank you to Secretary Milo for allowing me to be part of this, this moment, knowing that you're at this milestone and you've got a lot of work ahead, but I am very confident that that will be easy work when you really get rolling on this. So again, thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thanks so much, Secretary. And again, I just really appreciate all of the collaboration you and your team have brought into this work as well. And as you've heard, the theme throughout is tremendous collaboration across the board. The team at Ball State, under the leadership of President Mearns, we can't thank you enough for your engagement, the support of your office, your team throughout. And so we'll be excited to hear from you in just a moment. And also then the engagement from the George and Frances Ball Foundation throughout has been just unparalleled in so many different ways, and cannot thank Tom Kinghorn enough for the constant diligence that you have had throughout this process. And I regularly would get updates from John Burnett, who is a co-founder of CivicLab, of just the many conversations that both of you are having, and the passion that you have for this work and for this region is just so inspiring. And so thank you for your service in this effort, and your commitment to Hoosiers all over the state, but especially in East Central Indiana. And so I want to greatly acknowledge and thank you for that effort, and ask you to share a little bit about how this process has unfolded for you and the region, and the perspective that you can share with the team here today.
Sure, Blair, it's been a pleasure to work with all of you and in the region and at the state level as well. And we understand that this is a journey and we're just getting started on this process. But one of the things that was so important in this journey is that getting the commitment of individuals to take on this work. We realized that on everyone's list of things to do, this probably wasn't there before the idea was presented. And so that commitment that individuals made all the difference in our being here today. So you're right, we've learned about ecosystems and dashboards and regional data and strategies to put behind the three pillars of population growth, educational attainment, and workforce connections. And so the plan, which is the combined effort of the 7 individual counties' input, calls for a regional approach to accomplish 4 strategies. And those priority areas I'm going to share with you right now. And the first one is relates to Forge Your Path, but it's to increase the integration of East Central Indiana's Forge Your Path lifestyle initiative across the stakeholder marketing and talent attraction efforts. And that should be completed by December 2021. The second priority area is to establish regional coalitions to develop plans to increase achievement levels, early childhood, kindergarten through 8, high school, and adult and higher education. And that series of coalitions should be prepared by December 2021. Number 3 is to lay the groundwork for industry-specific networks to participate in regional implementation of the plan to develop talent pipelines in the areas of manufacturing, trades, education, healthcare, and technology by early 2022. And then the final of the initial set of strategies involves defining and prioritizing equity and inclusion in all talent development, attraction, and connection efforts from this point going forward. So this is part of the bedrock of the entire effort. And so we have a busy time ahead. There's no doubt about that with the plan that has been put into place. But we know that no single organization has all the answers to community challenges that they face. And that's why this collaborative approach where we share, we learn, we plan and act as a region is probably the best solution, as has been said several times already today. So today also represents an important transition as far as the role of the designated regional backbone and anchor organization is concerned. And we're, well, certainly not new to the effort. Delana Boyd's already been mentioned today, and she should have been. Her team and she have been very much involved in every step of this process, getting us to this point as they represented the Ball State University Office of Community Engagement. And the university has agreed to serve this new talent region in the capacity of backbone organization, helping support, facilitate, and lead this effort. So for all of us, this is a significant contribution the university is making to this regional effort. And I'm filled with gratitude on this and hope everyone else is as well. So with us today is the president of Ball State University, Jeff Mearns, and I'd like to turn it over to him now to share his perspective on how this fits with the university's strategic planning and future directions. So Jeff, please join in and share your concept.
Great, thank you, Tom, and good morning. Glad that you all could join us, and it's a great day, another great day to be at Ball State University and in East Central Indiana. So Tom, I want to begin first by thanking you and every one of your colleagues at the George and Frances Ball Foundation for your leadership and for the important work that you've done in spearheading this initiative. This new designation is just another tangible example of your foundation's role in advancing the economic and cultural vitality of Muncie, Delaware County, and all of East Central Indiana. And it's another example of the enduring legacy of the Ball family. So thank you, Tom. Thanks to you and all of your colleagues. In addition to the foundation, I want to thank everyone here that is on this call, and I want to thank all of you for your commitment to the success of this collaborative program. And as Tom said, it is a collaborative partnership that will be the key to our success continuing going forward. So as we've heard today, the designation was the product of a lengthy process that of course was made more challenging, like everything in our lives and our work these days, more challenging as a result of the pandemic. But despite the complexity and those challenges and the work that had to be done over video calls, everyone involved in this process persevered. And we persevered because we know that this work is so important to our friends and our neighbors and our colleagues all across East Central Indiana. As Tom said, our university, we're proud to serve as the backbone for this new talent collaborative. when we were invited to do so by Tom. As you know, when Tom invites you to do something, there is usually one answer, and you might as well get there quickly and say yes. So with Aaron and Delena's leadership, we are delighted and proud to lend our support and work alongside all of you to develop the strategies and the tools that we've heard about this morning in order to achieve the goals that Tom has described just a moment ago. And these goals actually align very tightly with our university strategic plan. Delena in 2018 agreed to serve on our university strategic planning process. And during that planning process, she raised the idea of a concept like this with the planning committee. And it was ultimately approved as a part of our university's long-term strategic plan by our board. It was approved in December of 2018. And in that strategic plan, we made a commitment to East Central Indiana to actively engage with community leaders, like folks like you, to develop and implement a coordinated plan that promotes talent, retention, and attraction in order to foster growth. So this, as Tom said, aligns with our plan, and we're delighted to see it come to fruition today. And so, of course, as we know, with this new designation and continued collaboration across these counties, we are well on our way to building a better and brighter future for everyone in East Central Indiana. And so now I'll turn this virtual podium back over to Secretary Blair Milo.
Well, thank you so much again. It's such a blessing to be so rich in assets across East Central Indiana, and particularly the amazing talent that we have in the leadership at Ball State University. So thank you for taking on this new role and for the leadership that you bring to the region and are continuing to bring through the steps and the journey that we will continue to be on. And so it is now my pleasure to be able to share with you the big piece of what we're all here for today, the actual designation itself. And so I will go ahead and read through the proclamation, and I hope that particularly as we get to sort of the culminating aspect of things, you'll hear the specific pieces about the goals of where we're still heading to next, and the opportunities that we have to work together here towards those. And so I will share a proclamation: to all to whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas the state of Indiana has cultivated a strong and diverse economy to ensure Indiana remains an attractive destination for companies to start here and existing companies to reinvest, grow, and innovate here. And whereas Hoosier businesses, workers, communities, and students alike are impacted by rapid advancements in technology, changing their awareness of and access to infrastructure needed to ensure the skills necessary to compete in a global marketplace. And whereas talent attraction, development, and connection are keys to continued economic investment and growth. And whereas growing on 21st century talent is no longer the province of any single agency, organization, or unit of government alone, but involves collaboration across public and private sectors at the state, regional, and local levels. And whereas the 21st Century Talent Region Initiative was launched to ensure every student is on a learning path to adult prosperity, every adult Hoosier has access to training aligned to work with future growth opportunities, and every employer has the tools they need to recruit, train, and retain talent. And whereas the East Central Indiana Talent Region has committed to working across geographic lines to attract, develop, and connect talent, while working together with the Office of Career Connections and Talent, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and CivicLab, the region is developing a data-driven approach or data-driven plan to grow population, increase educational attainment, and raise household income. And whereas the East Central Indiana Talent Region, currently a 7-county region encompassing Delaware, Grant, Henry, Jay, Randolph, Rush, and Wayne counties, commenced implementation of priorities identified in the plan to receive a designation as a 21st century talent region, and identified the goals of: 1, leveraging our quality of place assets to boost population trends by 11%, resulting in a net 0% population change by 2030. 2, mobilizing our learning system to increase post-secondary education attainment of more than 9,000 Hoosiers by 2025. And 3, building upon equitable economic opportunities to increase median household income and earnings by 7.5% by 2025 through the following core initiatives. A, increasing integration of East Central Indiana's Forge Your Path lifestyle marketing initiative across stakeholder marketing and talent attraction efforts by December 2021. B, establishing regional coalitions to help plans to increase achievement in early childhood, K through 8, high school, and adult and higher education by December 2021. C, laying the groundwork for industry-specific networks to participate in regional implementation plans and develop talent pipelines in manufacturing, trades, education, healthcare, and technology by early 2022. And D, defining and prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion in all talent attraction, development, and connection efforts through and beyond 2022. It is my pleasure to then bestow this on behalf of Governor Holcomb, who shares in our celebration today, that it reads, "Now therefore I, Eric J. Holcomb, Governor of the state of Indiana, do hereby designate this East Central Indiana talent region as a 21st century talent region and invite all citizens to duly note this occasion." And I hope everyone has had the opportunity to see. Thank you, President Mearns, for having the designation on display behind you. And so you can do your best Vanna White of displaying there. Thank you very much. And hopefully, I believe that copies have been distributed to all of the different 7 counties so that you can all share in celebrating with us, and also having direct access to those key, very specific goals, specific, measurable, time-bound goals that are identified in the proclamation itself. And so the last piece that I want to be able to recognize then too is that hopefully folks, I don't think we've had the opportunity to distribute them, because this is another challenge area that will be overcome once we get through some of these days of the pandemic. But we'll have the opportunity to share with you a tradition that we wanted to continue through this effort that I think stems from some of the military branches of challenge coins. And so we have challenge coins to be able to distribute to various folks who have been a part of this effort throughout. And so I'll do my Vanna White for you that we have the challenge coins here that have the state seal, as well as the seal that we created for 21st century talent regions on the back there. And so you'll want to make sure to carry that with you, particularly if you come across someone who knows the tradition that is affiliated with challenge coins, and what can happen if you don't have one on you when you meet a fellow that has another one with you. So thank you for all of your efforts, and for the tremendous commitment that has been made towards not only reaching today's designation and this celebration, but all of the work that you've committed to ahead of time through these goals that have been outlined. We are very excited to continue the journey alongside you, and to be the best support that we can to the amazing work that you have already started and are continuing. And as Secretary Beadle mentioned, as we've talked about with Forge Your Path, that in many ways you're leading so many other parts of our state in the creative areas. So we're grateful for your leadership and the teamwork that we see here. And so with that, then I am going to ask President Mearns to help close us out here. Oh, I think we may need you to unmute yourself.
That is the tagline for the pandemic, right? You are on mute. So what I said a moment ago, Secretary Beadle, want to thank you for your leadership and the support of your staff. Secretary Milo, of course, thank you and your staff and your leadership. And we're grateful to the governor for his leadership in creating this program and facilitating our role in it. As you say, I do have a copy of the proclamation here. We will make sure that all of the participating counties have a copy of it. We're going to ask you to display it publicly and proudly. And also we will make sure that everyone involved in the process has their challenge coin, as you say, to ensure our collective commitment. And so want to thank everyone who participated in the process that led to this wonderful day. Thank all of you for joining us. We know that as a result of this designation and all of the other work that you're doing, we know that better and brighter days are ahead for East Central Indiana. And we know that because we firmly believe that when we work together, we truly are better together. Thank you all very much.